With lockdown restrictions still in place, Emma is connecting to parents-to-be up and down the country, remotely.
Have you enjoyed talking to people remotely?
I've really enjoyed it. You know, we are in the house and we need to stay in the house and we can't be going out and mixing with people. It's really nice to have that connection with somebody, whether they're kind of down the road or the other side of the country. I'm a doer. I'd like to be active and to do something. And there's only so much washing you can do in a day.
The first couple Emma will be speaking to are expecting their first child. They have sent in a short introduction video.
I'm Matt and I'm 29.
I'm Emma-Jayne, I'm 27.
We've been together for about 10.5 years. We've been married for 4 years.
We've got nappies in here.
And been trying for a baby for 3 years.
We've got baby wipes.
And we are now 37 weeks pregnant with our little rainbow baby after unfortunately having 2 miscarriages. We got this 3 years ago when we were first pregnant because we're all huge Harry Potter fans. It's got time turner, and I thought there was a snitch on there somewhere, but I'm not sure.
Lockdown. It's so much harder and more emotional because we've waited so long for him and we have lost 2 babies. So this is our little Moses basket. I've been waiting for 3 years to use this. It's been tough missing out on things like baby groups and pregnancy groups that I wanted to go to because of COVID-19.
Today's Emma-Jayne's baby yoga day. I have started doing it online.
But I'm hoping by the time he grows up, this will be all in the past and it will have some sort of normality back.
With hospital visiting restrictions now in place, Matt isn't allowed to go with Emma-Jayne to her antenatal appointments.
Bye. Love you. I'll just wait here. So it's a little bit sad that I get to miss these things, but as long as the baby's okay.
Emma-Jayne is already at full term with her pregnancy.
Hello?
Hey! How you doing?
Yeah, good. Just bored of waiting now.
I bet. It's nice to virtually meet you both.
Hi.
You too.
I know you're overdue, but how many days?
10 days over.
Doesn't want to come out to the coronavirus, it's staying in.
Social distancing from the world.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there's been no conversations about induction?
They have mentioned it and I've said I do want to avoid it if possible, but obviously I just want to make sure the baby's safe.
Yeah.
When you've waited so long though, it doesn't matter,
Yeah,
does
as long as everything goes to the way we want it, Emma-Jayne and the baby are going to come home and then it's just...
And that's it, isn't it? It's thinking of the positives.
Yeah.
And how are you feeling about giving birth?
Obviously I've never done it before, so I could be being really naive, but we've done hypno-birthing and it's really educated me as to what to expect and why things happen. So the actual birth, I feel all right about it, but it's the fact that Matt's not going to be able to be with me the whole time. If I do end up having to be induced, I've got to go in on my own, and then what if he doesn't make it in time? That's the scary bit for me.
Everybody that I know that has done hypnobirthing has loved it. I think if you can get in that headspace and everything kind of goes to plan, then it must be absolutely wonderful.
Hopefully I can.
Well, good luck, and I'll be in touch again soon. Nice to meet you.
You
too.
Bye.
Emma-Jayne and Matt seem pretty chill. And maybe that's part of the hypnobirthing is properly in their head and their approach to it is quite calm and considered. I can't wait to see them with their little baby.
There are many ways to give birth.
We're just running a bath now, and then I'm going to jump in.
And many women write down how they would like their labour to unfold in a birth plan.
They are incredibly important. As a woman, it gives you a focus and makes you feel like you are doing it, even if you do have outside help from other people, if that is what is necessary.
Definite thumbs up to hypnobirthing and sort of being able to sort of stay in control of everything.
Now, birth plans are brilliant if they go the way you want it to go.
I was 10 centimetres, my waters went, she was out within 10 minutes.
However, babies don't necessarily have the same birth plan as the mother. So sometimes a birth plan will go out the window. And that is okay too, because you can't predict a birth, much like you can't predict a pandemic. So it's great if you can be adaptable.
Emma's next call is to a second-time mother-to-be whose birth plan includes a water birth.
Hello, my name is Sammy. I am 29 years old. I live with my husband and my 3-year-old son Harry in a little village outside of Lincoln.
Sunning yourself there.
And I am currently 40 weeks pregnant today with baby number 2.
Not long now. Are we excited?
Yeah.
I have found myself, unfortunately, pregnant in the middle of a pandemic, right in the middle of a lockdown, which honestly hasn't been the most ideal experience.
What happened to your train?
He braked.
This is just like all day, every day, this noise. This isn't how I pictured maternity leave. I thought I'll have a couple of weeks of peace before the baby's born. No peace for me. And I'm covered in stickers that are all up my back as well. Thanks, baby. Love stickers. What do you think about the nasty cough?
Bad.
Bad, yeah. And do you think it'll go away soon?
Yeah.
We hope so, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to sort out these. These are my hospital bags because of the pandemic. The hospital is saying that we can only have one bag. I understand because it's trying to minimise contamination by having less bags around, which does make sense. But it's going to be a nightmare.
Just purchased this little vest which says Eeny Weeny Quarantini, born in 2020. Mummy bossed it, and something that we can keep forever, a reminder of the time that she was born in.
Hi!
Hello.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, really good.
Good. Tell me about challenges you faced with being pregnant during a pandemic.
There's so many things. Like, there's the worry of catching the virus, because at one point they were saying that pregnant women were at risk. I've missed out on my baby shower. I know that sounds really trivial, but it's like little things like that with Harry, our firstborn. It's like we were going to go to the theatre and that got cancelled, and that was supposed to be our last little like mummy son date. And yeah, it's nowhere near what I expected it was going to be like. It's just, yeah, it's not what I'd planned at all.
What are your kind of biggest concerns for after you've had the baby, would you say?
Breastfeeding is one thing that I've been so passionate about all the way through my pregnancy. I really, really want to breastfeed, and I'm worried that there's not going to be the right support there. I want to be able to have people come round and check that I'm doing it right, and I don't know whether we're going to be able to do that or whether it's all going to be online. I know I need to research it a little bit more as to what help is out there.
Did you breastfeed your son?
No, I didn't breastfeed Harry, no, so it's like a new experience completely for me.
Yeah, try and just get as much support whilst you're in the hospital as possible.
Yeah, I'll be pestering them every 2 minutes. Like,
you should. Is it right? Have another look.
Make the most of it, yeah, while I'm there. Definitely.
Fantastic. Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you very much.
Let's catch up soon.
Yeah, hopefully talk to you soon.
Okay, take
bye.
care. Have a good day.
Bye.
Sammy talked about really wanting to breastfeed.
Huge.
She hadn't with her son, and she's anxious about it, which I absolutely can relate to. I think get this idea in your head that it's the easiest thing in the world to do because it's natural, but it actually can be really quite difficult. And plus we're in the middle of a pandemic. It's a massive worry in itself.
Hypno-birthing couple Emma-Jayne and Matt are making their way into hospital.
So I've been allowed in the room.
Almost 2 weeks overdue, Emma-Jayne has just been induced. With husband Matt by her side, Emma-Jayne is in labour and working through her hypno-birth techniques. But her labour isn't progressing as it should be. And the medical team decide to take her to theatre for a caesarean section. The couple have suffered 2 losses in the past, so are understandably anxious.
So unfortunately all of Emma-Jayne's plan has fallen apart due to unforeseen circumstances. She's just gone down for a C-section, so I'm just waiting to be taken down as well.
Matt can join Emma-Jayne in theatre, but can't film the birth. Thankfully, it's a straightforward procedure, and it's not long before they can welcome their baby boy into the world.
Is he still awake?
I want to see that shot. He could be asleep right now.
I'm being a pain in the bum, but I'm just going to put these over him because it is cold. Huh?
Tell me what it is.
A little boy.
He's adorable.
All ready to go home.
A day and a half later, it's time to leave hospital and begin life as a family of 3.
First time putting him in the car seat. Give me the blanket.
He's got love hair.
Straight on today.
No messing about.
Baby Jessie is now almost 2 weeks old. Emma is about to check in with the family.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Thank you.
Very good. Emma, where have you gone?
He's just there, she just changed it.
Oh. How is he?
Really good.
Oh, look at him. He's got so much hair.
Oh yeah, he's got loads.
Oh, bless him. And how are you, Emma?
All right. It was a bit of a shocker birth though, because I ended up having to have a C-section.
When I spoke to you, you wanted to hypno-birth.
Yeah, like the pain and everything wasn't a problem. I was dealing with that. My body just didn't want to do it. So when the doctor came to check me, she said that it just wasn't happening. So she said the best thing was to have a C-section. I was so upset one night.
Yeah.
Right, just get him on.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But it turned out in hindsight was for the best, because they said during the surgery they found out that she had a really thin uterus. So if she'd have given birth naturally, it could have ruptured and then she wouldn't have been able to have any more children anyway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so next time we've got to wait at least 2 years and then obviously have to have a planned C-section again.
I mean, maybe it happened for a reason then.
Exactly.
Yeah. And how have you been post-op?
There's still like the odd times that, especially in the mornings, I can't get up properly. But I feel like I'm healing really well.
Tried going for a walk yesterday, didn't we? That was a little
Yeah, I
bit
think
much.
that's a bit much.
And breastfeeding seems to be going well.
Yeah, really well. I'm so pleased with it.
Oh, I'm so happy for you both. It's a shame that it didn't go the way you wanted, but at the end of the day, you're both safe and well, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Enjoy your coming days and weeks with him
Thank
and
you.
how much he changes. Thank you. Have a lovely day.
Thank you, you too. Bye-bye.
Ah, that was nice. They're such a lovely couple. I've never heard of that, thin uterus. I feel like I need to call NAGMA and find out exactly what it means. It clearly means that you have to have a section so that it doesn't rupture. Good job it ended in a section. You wonder if those things happen for a reason, don't you, when you hear about things like that. But they're lovely little rainbow baby. It's very cute.
The coronavirus is the biggest threat this country has faced for decades. To put it simply, if too many people become seriously unwell at one time, the NHS will be unable to handle it. And that's why we've been asking people to stay at home during this pandemic.
How's lockdown been for you?
I mean, it's been up and down. I hate the word roller coaster, but it is the best analogy for it, really. But it's much like birth, because no two births are the same, really. Everybody's situation is different, and lockdown is the same. You know, you may have a very similar lockdown to your mate or a bunch of other people across the country, but everybody's experiencing it in a very different way.
How am I feeling about the lockdown? Very emotional. I've done a lot of thinking. A lot of thinking is literally all that I can do.
I feel like I'm spending my days just bouncing on a birthing ball, eating and having a nap, and then repeat.
It would be nice to have like some family around. My voice is cracking. Oh gosh, I didn't expect to like cry.
Most people find it quite tough. And then you think about people who are shielding, and that must be incredibly difficult.
Cricket's coming!
The next family have been shielding since the beginning of lockdown because mum-to-be Emma suffers from an irregular heartbeat. Yay! They live in Fife, Scotland, and have sent in a short introduction video.
I'm Emma Charlton, I'm 32. I'm currently 37 weeks pregnant.
And I'm Sammy Charlton, I'm 31 and Emma's husband.
Hello, welcome to Mill Park House, come on in.
We're kind of a bit isolated here. We're kind of the only ones of our family that live in Fife.
And with the coronavirus situation, we've had quite the family affair at home. Only conversing with the other households in the village during the NHS clap every week, shouting across the street to each other about how we're getting on. And that's really kind of been all the interaction that we've had. Yeah, we're pretty isolated.
This forest is 2 miles up the road from where we live. And I think it's the furthest I've been away from the house since the start of lockdown. So it was nice to get out and about for a wee bit actually. Whoosh!
Right, let's phone her. I can't believe how good I'm getting at technology.
Was it not your specialist subject before lockdown?
No, I'm a technophobe for sure. Not anymore. Hello. How are you? Can you hear? Hi. I've just been talking about what a tech whiz I've become during lockdown, and then suddenly I thought it wasn't going to work.
I'm a bit of a technophobe as well.
Good. We're on the same page. 2 Emmas that are very similar. How are you both getting on?
Yeah, we're doing good.
We are, yeah.
Doing good.
And how has your lockdown been? You're in the vulnerable category, is that right?
Yeah, so I would be more prone to symptoms than a lot of women in my situation. I've obviously been very worried about it, and Simon had explained this to his work, and they put him on furlough and have classed him as shielding.
We're very lucky in that respect.
That's amazing, isn't it?
So they've been really good.
Absolutely fantastic.
Before the lockdown started, I was feeling a bit nervous about the whole pandemic. So when we went into lockdown, I kind of felt it validated my concerns and my anxiety that I was having.
Jude, darling, we're not meant to touch that, darling. It's all dirty.
Jude just touching something outside gives me a lot of anxiety, and I just see him now as being contaminated until he's been wiped down.
He's dirty, Si. Let's take his jumper off him.
Okay, wait a minute, I need to take your helmet off.
Simon does all the wiping down and the cleaning off him before I can then actually touch Jude again. So a nice enjoyable family walk quite often turns into something quite stressful or quite anxiety driven for myself.
How old is Jude? Is he 2?
2.5 now.
2.5. How does he feel about having a sibling?
It's been a bit tricky. We've had some difficult behaviour over the last week or two, and I don't know if it's to do with lockdown or whether he's just a bit fed up of hearing about the baby all the time.
I've found my little one getting quite irritable the past week. Matt's begun, I don't know what's the matter with her. She's really miserable. And I'm like, maybe she's not miserable. Maybe she's frustrated and doesn't understand why she's not going to nursery or why she isn't seeing her friends. You might be worrying that it's the baby coming, but really it could be just the fact that his little life isn't as it normally is, and he doesn't really understand why it's not that way anymore.
Yeah, I think we've both kind of maybe just reached that fed up stage, both me and Jude. We just want the baby here now.
Well, it's just a matter of days, isn't it? You're nearly there. So good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And I'll speak to you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
I remember last time we gave birth, they said don't ring until you can't speak through them. It's definitely at that sort of stage.
In Lincoln, Sammy is having contractions and is on the phone to the maternity team. Following advice from the midwife, Sammy and Damian decide to make their way to the hospital.
Let's do this, Damo. Let's do this.
You do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you haven't got much to do. Just sit and watch. Oh, they're so strong.
Emma is watching Sammy and her partner Damian make their way to the hospital.
Can't swear, so... Are you nervous, Damo?
I haven't got to do anything.
Hi, my name's Samantha Postlethwaite. I've been asked to come in.
How are you feeling?
Not great.
I'll be honest.
The midwife is going to go and fill up the birth pool because I mentioned that I'd like to try a water birth. So yeah, for now I'm just on the gas and air, seeing how that goes for a bit.
Look how cosy that is.
I think that's actually happening.
The pool is heated to the correct temperature. Sammy is now in active labour.
Wow, cool as a cucumber.
Using a small mirror, the midwife checks to see the baby's position.
She's just sitting there. It's not far away. Just breathe really gently. Just breathe, just breathe. There's loads of hair on this baby.
Go on.
That's it. Well done, you.
Come on, Sammy.
Okay. And if you've still got it, give it another push. If it's still there. There she is. Look, in front of you. Grab it. Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Sit about the water. What time is it? 47. Oh my goodness.
Just 45 minutes after arriving at the hospital, Sammy gives birth to a baby girl.
She's perfect. I didn't even know she was pushing. That was extraordinary. She should be the poster child for birth. Like, show people that and nobody would be scared of having a baby.
She's got a pair of lungs on her. She's not stopped crying pretty much since birth. Oh, darling.
Can't believe how quick that happened. I'm honestly, what on earth? What time did we get here? 10? She was born at 10:40.
10:47.
47 minutes.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, look. Sleeping on Dada. She's exhausted after all that crying, I think. Say bye to Daddy. See you in the morning.
Oh, she got Daddy's hair.
With the family now back at home, Emma is going to check in to see how they're getting on and meet baby Emily.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Look at her!
I know. She's just gone to sleep after about 1 million bum pats.
I've just watched your birth video. I mean, how phenomenal you are at giving birth. You got in that pool and I was kind of watching you, and I've only seen a couple of water births, but the ones I have seen, you can very much see when that pushing is happening. But with you, I just couldn't. It was almost like you just literally breathed her out.
I was really like proud of myself that I went through, did the water birth and didn't really have any pain relief.
It was incredible to watch. And what was it like in hospital?
So I was very, very emotional the day after birth because I was really struggling to get to grips with breastfeeding, and not being able to have Damien there with me was hard. And I just kept saying to him, when can I go home? When can I go home?
And how's feeding going now?
We're having very stressful days. Some days I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore, I can't do this. And then other days I'm like, no, I need to push on. But I'm finding that with the pandemic, the breastfeeding support isn't quite what I expected it would be, because they can check the latch and things over video. But it's not quite the same as having somebody come out to physically see you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been quite hard.
I'm having a really, really tough time with breastfeeding today. Like I've almost thrown in the towel multiple times and thought I absolutely cannot do this. And that isn't something that I want to do. I don't want to give up. I really want to keep going. But it's just been so tough. I just don't know what to do. So I've said to Damien to give her a bottle of formula because I don't have anything expressed. It's just kind of hard to not feel like I'm a failure when it's like this.
I struggled with all 3 of my babies with breastfeeding, and I just found that I was the same. I was beating myself up every single time because I felt like I was failing. I got to the point where I went, I'm doing as much as I can, and I'm not gonna drive myself into the ground because my baby is happy, my baby is healthy. Don't beat yourself up too much.
And I had plans when wanting to support Sammy as much as possible, the breastfeeding, take Harry out of her hair for a bit, go to some soft play or go to some parks or whatever. I was thinking that would be brilliant because that would be great for me and Harry and great for her to stay here. Walk around a few fields, but that's about the extent of it at the moment.
Yeah. I suppose we keep our fingers crossed that things are being eased now, so maybe bits of normality will start coming back in. Do you think you'll continue trying to breastfeed?
People say 6 weeks is that kind of marker where things start to get a little bit easier. So we're 4 weeks in now, so I'd quite like to at least push to 6 weeks.
Getting to 4 weeks, I think, is a massive achievement in itself.
Yeah.
I gave up after 2 weeks and we weren't in the middle of a pandemic. So I take my hat off to you.
With Harry, it was something like 4 days and I thought, I can't do this, no.
But she looks super happy. She looks very content.
Yeah. She seems to be getting bigger, so I think I'm doing my job.
Totally, absolutely. You're doing everything you can for her and you're doing your absolute best. We'll speak in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, take care.
You too, bye.
Nice to speak to you, bye. I know many people find breastfeeding quite easy, but there are a lot of people that struggle with it. With every child I had, breastfeeding was an issue. And the one thing that I learned was breastfeeding support is imperative.
Okay, perfect.
And when I say that, I don't just mean somebody who can talk you through it, but breastfeeding support is hands-on.
And we're gonna attempt to breastfeed as long as we can, but I just can't produce too much. I am very sore.
A couple of lovely ladies, due to the restrictions, their clinic's shut, so they came here in all their full PPE and helped me with the latching and gave me loads of advice. So that was brilliant.
Pardon? Sorry about that.
And we're in a pandemic, so for the women that struggle with breastfeeding, this moment in time is going to be even harder.
Let's try to talk.
It's frozen.
So communication, having a support network, having people who can verbally explain to you because they physically can't help you, that is crucial.
In Scotland, there has been a development to Emma's pregnancy, and Simon is driving her to hospital.
It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm now 12 hours of contractions every 5 minutes apart. Hopefully this is it. Bit nervous.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
We could do with baby arriving sometime soon.
Oh, speed bumps. Oh, God.
We've just arrived at the hospital, making our way up the maternity unit just over there, just as another contractions started for Emma, so we've timed that well.
Emma and Simon have been shielding since the beginning of lockdown due to Emma's irregular heartbeat. Tonight, they are making their way to the maternity unit ahead of the birth of their second child.
Who would have thought I could be so happy about so much pain?
That's us going up there. Face masks are on, hands washed at the door. A little surreal, but hey, that's the time we're living in.
But soon after arriving at the hospital, the baby becomes distressed and her birth takes a different course.
Tried to put a clip on the baby's head, but still they couldn't get a good read on the heartbeat. So Emma's been whisked away for a C-section. At the minute in limbo, whether I can go in there or not depends on baby's heartbeat. If the heartbeat doesn't pick up, Emma's going to be any size and put to sleep, and rather than me going out the door to go be with Emma, a baby's going to come my way instead. So a bit of a waiting game to wait and see what happens now.
The baby's heart rate fails to pick up, so Emma is put under general anaesthetic. Simon is not allowed in theatre as a result.
So one of the midwives just popped in. It's about 30-45 minutes ago since Emma was whisked away for an emergency C-section and been told that baby is out and is fine, doing well, and Emma was under general anaesthetic, so it might be a bit woozy when she comes back, but good news is baby is out and doing well. Guess I need to just hang tight a little bit more until brought through and I can finally meet him.
In theatre, Emma has also yet to meet her baby.
He's still around in neonatal unit. It turned out there was some conium in the water that could have been adding to the stress we were seeing. So needing a wee bit of oxygen just now. I've got some pictures from the midwives. There he is. Having a good old shout. Apparently he was a wee bit stunned when he came out, but recovered quickly, so that's good. Oh, he's here!
10 hours after giving birth,
Oh, yeah, bring him round, bring him round.
Emma is finally reunited with her baby boy.
Oh, look at him. Say hello, world. My name's Rupert and I've come to stay with my mommy.
A week later, the family are back at home, and Emma is about to make contact with them.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Not bad, thank you, and yourself?
I'm good. Where's Emma?
Just now, just like that.
How are you guys? How are you getting on?
We're getting there. It's, we were in hospital for a week after having him because he was immediately taken to the neonatal unit and found out that he's got a cleft in his soft palate.
So what does it mean, his cleft palate?
It's right at the back of the mouth.
Right.
It's split in two
Yeah.
when you look at it, but it also means that there's a hole in his palate between his palate and his nose. So that needs to be repaired because the muscles for speech won't work properly. So he'll have problems with his speech and language as he grows up. So we're going to get a lot of support with that up until about 7 years of age.
And does it affect his feeding?
Yes, when a baby normally feeds, they create a vacuum. Whereas with him, because he's got a hole, he can't create that vacuum. So he's
Right.
had to learn how to feed differently. So the teats that he's got are quite soft. And he's also got a valve within the teat as well to help control the flow so he doesn't get flooded basically when he's feeding. He's going to need some surgery a bit later on, and we've had to see specialists in Glasgow as well.
And at what age will he have to have surgery, do you know?
They've said between 6 months and 12 months that he'll get that repaired. But you would never know looking at him, and he's doing so well.
Well, I was going to say, aside from all of that stuff you've had to deal with, how is he?
He's fantastic.
He is typical baby, eating and pooing, doing grand. He is.
And sleeping?
Yes,
Yeah.
loves to sleep. And he's not fazed by any noise that Jude's making either.
And how has Jude reacted to him?
Very well, very well. He likes to give him cuddles and kisses. He loves to hold him.
He's been really, really good.
Well, I'm so pleased that you're all home and you're all okay. And I hope that everything goes well with the repair.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And it was lovely to see you and meet him. Take care and thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Take
you.
care as well. All the best.
Bye.
Bye.
So much is already happening in the world, but when you know that your child has to have an operation essentially at such a young age, it's a lot to deal with mentally and physically, and they seem to both be doing really well with it.
As restrictions are being eased across the UK, Emma is on her way to Lincoln to meet Sammy, Damian, and their 2 children.
Hey! You too! Hello, gorgeous! Good to see you. Oh my God, she's beautiful. Hi, Harry. Hi. How are you? Good. Emily is about 10 weeks old now. And when we chatted, Sammy had been struggling with breastfeeding. That's always something that makes me go, I want to help, because I struggled with it as well. Look at your little face, you're so cute. She's super alert and watching everything, isn't she?
She always has been from day one, like that. Like a little meerkat from day one.
Aww. Yeah. Is it funny to see a different face that you don't know? Hi. It's been really nice meeting people. Just generally being out the house and seeing other people rather than your husband and your 3 kids every day. Just a bit of difference, a bit of variety. So Harry, how are you?
Good.
Yeah? What is it like having a little sister?
Good.
Yeah? Do you play with her loads?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you help Mummy and Daddy?
Yeah.
Do you help with the nappies? No. How have you found the transition from 1 to 2?
It's been stressful at times trying to manage them both, especially in the early days where she was screaming, and then because he didn't like the noise of her screaming, then he'd be screaming. But he's starting school actually this week, so it'll be easier then, I think.
And how are you feeling about him going to school?
Oh, I'm so nervous, especially.
He's like, yay! I'm out of here.
You're happy about going to school, aren't you?
I think it'll be good for Sammy if nothing else. Just get down to 1 when I'm at work. I think that'll be a good thing.
Do you want to go play on your trampoline? Getting a bit tired. Should we just feed you to sleep and just see if that works?
Yeah.
One of the things I was really curious about was how feeding was going, but it looks like it's going like an absolute dream.
Yeah, no, it's going really, really well. This is kind of what I was always imagining when I was going through the pain of it and thinking I want to give up. I was always imagining having a peaceful feed where it's not painful, and then the bonding is really lovely, and yeah, it's got to that point now, and I'm really pleased that I stuck with it.
The biggest thing for me at the start was with Harry, we 50-50 bottle fed, so I always had him in my arms time with the bottle. You get all that eye contact and that, and yeah, which it made it really difficult. I struggled with the bond on that.
Yeah.
So that probably does remove a certain amount of bonding time that you would have maybe had with Harry that you didn't get this time. It definitely looks like there's a fantastic bond there now.
Yeah, definitely. You do a bottle in the evening most of the time, don't you?
Yeah.
When I remember to actually express, like a lot of the time I just forget, don't I?
Yeah.
It's an effort. It's really hard.
Yeah, I mean, you're constantly on a machine as well. I mean, on this for hours, come on.
And there was one day where I spent a good hour expressing, but then it was on here and I knocked it off and I was like, no! And they say you shouldn't cry over spilt milk, but I cried. I was like, oh my God, I was like, I've spent ages getting that milk.
I think if you knock over breast milk and it takes you that long, you have every right to cry and break things and scream and do all of that. It's really nice to hear that the struggles that they have faced, they have overcome, and all looks well in that household. Thank you so much for having me over. It's really nice to meet you, Harry.
You're welcome.
Good luck at school tomorrow.
You're welcome.
I love it. And it was lovely to meet you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
She's delightful. That was really lovely. Gorgeous, gorgeous little baby. She's so alert and got this little pout and smile that just kind of melts your heart. Yay, I got a smile! They've obviously struggled in the beginning, both of them, in different ways. Thank you. See you later. Bye. Bye. I think it's amazing how open they are about it and honest, because, you know, that will speak to a lot of people. It is a struggle. It's the most wonderful thing that can happen to you in your life, but it's also a struggle, and you have to adjust and adapt, and it's hard enough in a world that is pre-COVID, let alone in a world that is very much at the height of COVID.